Hi friends, I'm Abby and welcome back to my channel. Today is the start of a reading vlog. So I haven't done a vlog in a while, so I thought we'll give it a go. And there isn't really a theme or a plan for this vlog. It's just, I've had quite a stressful July and now we're moving into August. I'm resetting, maybe it's a reset vlog. I'm resetting myself at the beginning of August because the stress is no longer going to be around. I'm going to be less stressed. So I figure I can just read, and I can read without getting distracted by stressful thoughts, and I can just relax and read and enjoy reading, and that is my hobby and pleasure without intrusive stressful things coming in the way. So that is the plan. My partner is away this weekend, which is another reason why I thought I should have a big reading weekend. So he is on a work trip and he left yesterday and he's back on Sunday. Today is Thursday evening as of filming, starting this vlog. So I figure we'll do Thursday evening to Sunday evening and you can spend it with me, and my plan and anticipation. My hope is to read a lot of books. I want to get a good chunk of reading in. I want to start the month off strong. That is the intention. I don't quite know what I'm going to read. That is still to be decided. I figured I'm going to go with the mood and see what happens, but we do have the books that I'm starting this vlog off with already decided, and then we will just go with the flow and see where the rest of the books come to and see what happens. As of right now, I am currently listening to the audiobook of Mask of Mirrors. I don't have loads left of this. I think it said like about 2 hours, so there's like 100 and something odd pages left. This is a reread for me. I did read this a couple of years ago. So this is my audiobook and I've been loving this reread. It's taken me a little while. I was doing really well. Like I binged a few hundred pages of this really, really quickly. And then I got stressed and then I didn't really listen, and now I'm getting back into it because I thought I'd finished this in July and that really did not happen. I would hope I'll be able to listen to the final 2 hours of this very, very quickly. I plan to do a jigsaw puzzle this weekend because I love jigsaw puzzles. I think they're very therapeutic, calming, great distraction. So I want to get a jigsaw puzzle out, listen to the end of this, and then we'll have to plan a new audiobook for the rest of the jigsaw puzzle. But that is my first point of call, is jigsaw puzzle and book. The Mask of Mirrors, if you don't know, is the start of a trilogy called the Rook and Rose trilogy. We're following a main character, Ren, who is a con artist as she infiltrates one of the merchant families in this city, which is a bit like Venice. So it's a fantasy Venice. There's lots of really interesting magic and politics in this world. So there's magic around tarot cards and fates, and I find that really, really interesting. The politics is very good. There's lots to keep track of, which is why, for me personally, I really enjoyed reading it physically the first time, but the audiobook's really working for me as a reread. And the third book of this is coming out very soon. It's coming out in August, so that's why I've been on my reread kick. So rereading this, and then I do want to get to The Liar's Knot, whether that is this weekend, whether that's the audiobook I pick up next or not. But this is what I have currently been reading, and I think I might upgrade this to 5 stars. I think I gave it like 4.5 last time, but I think it might be a 5. I think it might be a 5 because I'm really, really enjoying this. Like, it's been such a fun reread, such a fun reread. I just really like the characters. I like the world. I like the magic. I like the plot and the intrigue. It really works for me. And then currently for my physical read, I am reading Tress of the Emerald Sea. I am 100 pages into this. I started it the other day, and I want to race through the rest of it. I think it's not very long. It's like 300 something pages, so I don't anticipate it will take too long. 360 pages, and I haven't really like had that much time where I've sat down and read this yet, whereas I feel like now I can hopefully like read a good chunk. I can get through the rest of this quite quickly. This is the first in the Secret Projects, and I feel a little bit behind. I think most people have read this and I haven't, or at least all those people that are like interested in Brandon Sanderson and the Secret Projects are way ahead of me. They're probably reading the third one and I'm still here reading the first one. I'm really enjoying this. It's really like cozy and fun. We're following our main character, Tress, who is born and raised on this island in the middle of nowhere, and due to circumstances she ends up having to leave her island, and it is the adventures that she is getting up to as she leaves her island and the life that she has known all of her life. And it feels like a fun adventure story. I think this is compared to The Princess Bride, which I never read, and I have seen it, but like once, many years ago. I can't even remember anything really to do with The Princess Bride. I would not notice if there were any similar plot beats between this and The Princess Bride. But so far, really enjoying it. And I will let you know once I hopefully finish both of these. And then we can pick my next book. Good evening. So it is now Friday. We've made some progress with my reading. I finished up work, went for a little walk, picked up some things for dinner. I'm making myself mushroom, broccoli, pesto pasta type thing. Easy, quick meal. So if you hear bubbling, that's the pasta cooking. I've been doing some of my jigsaw puzzle, so making good progress on that. And I have since finished The Mask of Mirrors. So my reread, I've now finished listening to it. So I've read quite a bit today. I listened to some this morning whilst I did some of the jigsaw. I went for a run, listened to some on my walk, listened to it, and I finished it. We are there. I do think my favourite parts of this book are like the first 2/3, 3/4. I do think the final bit is a little bit weaker. I mean, I really like the ending, but I do think the rest of it is stronger. I just really enjoy some of the scenes in the middle of the book. They do just they really appeal to me, I think. As we're getting as in the setup with the start of the con, with the whole dream sequences that we get, I just love those scenes. I would really recommend this series if you haven't read it. It's so fun and enjoyable. So this has now been finished, so I do need to pick my next audiobook to continue my jigsaw puzzling, but I just don't know. Maybe I don't know whether to just dive into the second one straight away and then not finish it in this vlog, that I would just start that one, which is a potential, or if I read something and with the intention of finishing it over the weekend. I will review. I might decide that tomorrow, see how I feel when I wake up. But really thoroughly enjoyed this. And yeah, I think it's going to be a 5-star, and it's a 5-star now. And then I have also made progress in Tress of the Emerald Sea. So between last night and this morning, I have got to page 242, so excellent progress has been made here, and my intention after dinner is to finish this, read the last 120 or so pages of this. So that is my plan. We'll see if I stick to it, but that is what I hope I can do. And then I can wake up tomorrow morning and be fresh for the weekend to start new books. Yeah, really thoroughly enjoying this. This is so fun, and it's fun adventure. It's a fun adventure. That's what I'm getting after this. A fun adventure. So I will update once. Sorry, I got distracted by my pasta boiling. Now I was it's not going to overflow with it, because my pasta always overflows. But I will update once I've read some more. Good morning. It is Saturday morning. I did not finish Tress of the Emerald Sea last night, but I did finish it this morning. I, for whatever reason, decided to wake up at 6 o'clock on a Saturday, and I was why have I woken up? What is happening? I did fall asleep earlier last night, which is why I didn't finish this. It got to 10:30, and I was no, the eyes can't read anymore. No, we've got to fall asleep. We've got to sleep. I then ended up waking up early. I had about 60 pages left of this because I ended at part 6 last night. So finished this off this morning. Really fun. I enjoyed this. Yeah, I found it very bingeable to read. I found it very engaging. It was just a lot of fun. It was very fairy tale-esque. I found it quite different in writing style and tone to other Sanderson books that I've read in the past, or maybe it's more similar to his YA books potentially in terms of the speed of the writing. It definitely felt younger than some of the other books in the Cosmere. Not that that's a positive or a negative. It's just I found it I found it probably quicker to read than I have found some of the Cosmere books. Some of the other Cosmere books, should I say, or the Stormlight Archive. That it's less maybe intricate potentially in its plot. Oh, it's really raining out there. The weather here is miserable today. Miserable with a capital M. I think it's meant to be raining all day. It is currently very, very rainy, which is great for weather for staying inside. But I really wanted to go to my favourite bakery today because I haven't been in ages, and I finally have a chance to go, and it's miserable out there. So I'm gonna have a wet walk to the baker's. Really thoroughly enjoyed this. It was a great way to wake up on a Saturday morning and finish Tress of the Emerald Sea. So very happy to have read this, enjoyed it, and seen that I enjoyed the magic system as well, and I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the plot. It was fun. I predicted one of the twists in it. Maybe not as early as I probably should have done, but the reveal of the little plot twist, I was like, oh, that's so cute. Right, so now on to my plans and my hopes for the day. I've been trying to think about what audiobook I want to read, well, listen to, and I was sort of just coming up blank. And I know that I want an audiobook because obviously I'm in the, well, not quite in the middle. I'm working my way through my jigsaw puzzle. I also want to do some household tidying, cleaning this weekend to get my house a little bit in order. I feel like it's relatively tidy, but things need cleaning. The bathroom needs a clean. This room probably needs a clean. I definitely need to do like hoovering and the surfaces in the bedroom. So things just need freshening up. I've got washing to put away. So I definitely need an audiobook to do all my household chores. So that is a task for today as well. I really need that audiobook. So I am thinking I will just dive into The Liar's Knot and continue with this reread. I was trying to figure out what I wanted, and I was like, do I want to listen to something that is new? And then I was like, no, I don't know if I do. I feel like I want to do a reread. So then my reread options that are on my TBR are The Liar's Knot or Skyward. Skyward is a buddy read, and I don't know if my friends are ready for it yet. So I figure we will just go with The Liar's Knot and stay with The Mask of Mirrors world. I really loved my reread of The Mask of Mirrors, so I'm hoping I get positive feelings from this one as well. I think I gave this one 4 stars when I read it the first time, that I didn't love it quite as much as Mask of Mirrors. So I wonder how true that will be on this second reread. I do not anticipate I will finish this one over the weekend, despite stating that I've got quite a bit of things that I want to do whilst listening to an audiobook, but this one is like 23 hours long. So that will be on 2 times speed, well, not 12 hours, 11 hours, 11 and a half hours. I probably won't finish it over the next 2 days. 5 hours a day, 5-6 hours a day. I feel like it's a bit much. I feel like it's a little bit much. I will see how I get on with this. That was the other thing. I was like, oh, it'd be good if I could have an audiobook that I can finish in the weekend. And this one's not going to be that, but it is what I want. It is what I want, and it gets me ready to read The Labyrinth's Heart when that is released. And then for my physical read, because I've now finished Tress, so I've got to pick all these new books, all these decisions. I was thinking, sticking with standalones, of reading A Study in Drowning by Ava Reid, which is an ARC advanced copy that I have, and it comes out in September. So another 2023 release. So, because quite a few of the sequels that I have are long, and ideally want to be able to finish this again over the weekend and see how I get on with it. So this one is like 370 odd pages. It is, I think, a dark academia sort of gothic fairy tale-esque thing. But I will tell you more once I actually start it and I'm able to give an accurate synopsis of it, because of right now I feel as though we're just going to get a shitty one. I will brave go into the baker's. I'm going to take the book with me so I can like read in there and hopefully be cozy. We will get on with the day. Hello. So it's quite a lot later now on Saturday. It's like 6:15, and I have been reading, but I've also been watching TV. I've been watching Vanderpump Rules, just finished season 3. I haven't been feeling amazing today, so I have been doing some reading. I've done some puzzle, like I've been a bit slow. I'm hoping I will feel a bit better tomorrow, but for right now I've been a bit slow. I've been maybe a little bit like the weather today, which has been miserable. I did do some cleaning. I did do that. I tidied up my bedroom, and so like cleaned up all the sides, hoovered in there, put away some clothes, like that I did. Bathroom I did a little bit as well, probably need to do some more in there, and I didn't really do anything in here, but there was some cleaning that did happen. And whilst doing that I read The Liar's Knot, so I got to page 100 and 186, chapter 8 of my reread. So I did listen to a reasonable amount of this. I actually feel as though that's quite an impressive amount to have read. Doing reasonably well on this one, so I'll just keep steadily listening to this. And now I have been reading A Study in Drowning. So I started this at the coffee shop, and then I didn't really read any until just now, but I've got to page 94 currently, so making some good progress in here, and I feel as though I've read it relatively quickly. I feel as though still getting into it and getting like settled within this story. So I didn't really explain anything about what this is about, but this is like a fantasy world, and that it's not our own world. There's some sort of like war going on between two countries. There's like, are fairy tales real, are they not real? But there is like modern inventions as well. There's cars, there's phones, there's modern society here as we know it, but set in a different world to our own. And so we're following our main character Effie, and she is an architecture student at this university. And at the beginning, she comes across this notice, which is requesting for an architecture like competition for her favourite author. So her favourite author has recently died, and the family of this author are calling for architect designs for their house. And as he is her favourite author, she submits a proposal and is successful and goes and travels to her favourite author's crumbling down house in the middle of nowhere. And that's sort of where I'm at, that she's arrived, that she's settled in, and it's sort of seeing how the situation is unfolding there. As she's there, she's met this person called Preston, who is also another student, and I think it's in their relationship develop. It's got these undertones of this fairy tale elements throughout it, and it's knowing what's real, what's not real. Like, are these fairy tales real? Like, is it real or is it not? Is it supernatural or not? Currently, it's giving me the vibes of like Mexican Gothic, in that like sort of like remote Gothic like tale, in that you don't know who to trust. Things are just a bit weird. And Mexican Gothic is weird. So it's sort of giving me that vibe. It meets Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, because of like the fairy like element and this sort of desire to know more and more about the fairies. And I'm thinking potentially the romance between Effie and Preston. I feel like it's going to go down the romantic route between them. I feel like their romantic tension is similar to Emily and Wendell's tension in Emily Wilde. So those are the vibes it's giving me right now. I'm definitely intrigued, enjoying this one so far, and hoping to get more read this evening and probably finish it tomorrow, hopefully, is my intention, is my hope. Hello. So we are now on Sunday. It's the next day, and I have just finished A Study in Drowning. So that is my third book finished during this weekend. So I feel like I've made some very good progress. It's only 12:45, so I feel as though I've done quite well. I don't know what my plans are for the rest of the afternoon. I'm going to go for a walk. I don't know if I want to do any more reading or like listening to The Liar's Knot. I don't know, but I'm going to go outside. You can come with me. But I did finish A Study in Drowning. This is quite a different tone to Tress. I can't remember what I said yesterday, but it's a very different tone to Tress. Tress is that fun adventure, whereas this is darker. It's like a dark academia, Gothic, not enemies to lovers, academic rivals with fairy tale elements. And I really enjoyed it. I was very like compelled to keep reading it. And there were moments that were quite haunting. I don't know if I necessarily call it scary, but that definitely had some like horrific elements to it. I liked our characters, and I did find this at some points quite not challenging to read, because the writing style is not challenging at all, but in terms of the themes and the subject matters that it delves into. So I will say that there are trigger warnings for this book for sexual assault, and it's never on page, but it is something that has been experienced in the past by our main character, and this fear of anything happening again, and the shame that she feels from that experience, and the reoccurring thought patterns that go back to that experience. And so it feels as though, although that is never on page, it permeates the book, both from her experiences and the experiences of other women. So I feel as though if you are sensitive to that, although the scene isn't on page, it does really, the themes of it are throughout the book. And for me, I found that it was at some points hard to read, because not because I've experienced anything like that, thankfully, but I think as women, it is quite common to have been in experiences with men where you are uncomfortable and you feel as though you are in a situation where you do not want to be in that situation. And it sort of, it gets you to thinking about those experiences. I don't know if the author has experienced any of that, but it felt very realistic, I would say. It's got this, what's real and what's not real. Is this in our main character's imagination, or is this actually happening? And it's very hard to tell as you go through the book what is real and what isn't. Like, are these supernatural things actually supernatural, or fantastical things fantastical, or are they in her imagination? And it makes you question reality. Definitely like a thought-provoking book. I definitely enjoyed the topics that it explored, and I found it compulsively readable, and I liked the romance that we got between Effie and Preston and their relationship as it developed throughout the book. But yes, very, very different to Tress of the Emerald Sea, which was just a very fun, adventurous romp. That has now been finished. Success. So now I will go for my walk, and I will see if I pick anything up when I get back, potentially. But maybe not. I don't know. So we shall see how it all goes. And I don't know what I'm doing with my hands, but there we are. I feel very accomplished with myself for having read as much as I have done this weekend, because of finishing Mask of Mirrors, finishing Tress, finishing A Study in Drowning. I feel like I've had a great reading weekend. It's been so good. And thankfully today, the weather is much brighter than yesterday. Yesterday it was disgusting. And I would say this has very much autumn, like cold autumn, November vibes. And so yesterday, when it was November in August, it was the perfect vibe for this book because it was so stormy. And I feel as though this book is like the perfect book for when it's really, really stormy outside and you are warm and cozy inside. If you are a seasonal reader, it's definitely like a cold, depressing day book, like weather vibes book. Right. Anyway, I will get going now and speak to you in a bit.
On the road, I've been around the floor, rooftops, sliding doors. Just wanna know you more. I hope you wanna be with somebody. Spending all of the night moonwalking, and with the view she could see her building. Try to tell her I know I feel it. Keep me floating, I'm on my back. Slow me down when I'm living fast. You make me wanna be with somebody, doing things that I usually don't. Find my way through.
In the hope to finish one more book before the end of the weekend, I'm starting Olympus Volume 3. Let's see how we go. Let's see if I can finish this before the end of today. Right, so that didn't take me very long. I finished Olympus Volume 3. I, again, enjoyed this one. I enjoyed the arc that this took us on. I know that, like, the way these are broken up isn't, like, natural endpoints or anything, that it was written as a webcomic, and so this is just broken up where it, I don't know, where at the end of an episode. I enjoyed this. It's cute seeing the romance blossom between Hades and Persephone. I enjoyed the progression of the plot, seeing their romance blossom, seeing sort of the angsty times in this. We'll continue on at some point. I do enjoy how, like, quick and easy these are to read. Like, it feels so accomplished. I feel so accomplished for reading this in like an hour. I think Volume 4 is out and Volume 5 is coming out soon, so good progress on this series, which, you know, makes me feel accomplished. So that's that. which means I think I'm done. I think I'm going to call it quits now for my big reading weekend, for my big bonanza reading. My partner should be home in like an hour or so from his work trip, so I doubt I'll get much reading done when he gets back, because I've got to like cook. I've got to cook dinner, got to like make some lunches I've got to cook dinner, I've got to make lunches for the week, tidy up a little bit. I do not anticipate much more reading will be done, but looking at the stack of books in front of me, I am so impressed with how much reading I did. I'm so impressed with how much I got done this weekend. Obviously, I didn't finish all of these this weekend. Like, some of them I started before the weekend, some of them I still have not quite finished. But this stack is looking hefty. This is like the same size as the amount of books that I wrapped up in July. I only finished 4 books in July, and there's 5 books here. 5 books, like, I am impressed with myself. So, to wrap up, over the course of this weekend and this vlog, spent some time with me, I read the end of The Mask of Mirrors, which I have been reading for a little while, so I just finished this audiobook off, and I started The Liar's Knot. I haven't read any more of this today. I haven't really been feeling in the audiobook mood, really. Like, I did finish my jigsaw puzzle this morning, but that was with some booktube. I do have this to continue on with. Obviously, that will happen. I got to page 187 of this. I'll get to the rest of this later on this month in August. I'll just gradually continue to listen to it, so not so binging of this, but still a good amount of pages were done here between these two. Really looking forward to wrapping up this series, so like finishing off this one and getting to the 3rd book when it comes out later on this month, and a lot of fun here. Then I read and finished Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. This is the first of the secret projects. It was fun, it was cozy. I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed myself. It was an adventure. Then I read A Study in Drowning by Ava Reid. This one was darker, more gothic, more academic rivals. Again, really enjoyed it. Everything I've really enjoyed. I've had a very positive reading weekend. Like, I've really liked what I've read. And then I've literally just finished the weekend off by reading Olympus Volume 3. And again, this one was fun and enjoyable. Yes, overall, a roaring success of a reading weekend. I think I was really happy to get to both of these. This one I've been anticipating and wanted to read for quite a while, and I had just put off reading it because I hadn't bought it until my sister gifted it to me earlier in July. And then this I've been planning to get to, as it is an advance copy and comes out in September, so I really wanted to read it and review it and get my thoughts out for it ahead of its release, which is now successfully done. And I really enjoyed it, and I think these were both, it was great to read some standalones. I've been reading a lot of series, as like evidenced here and evidenced in my like ongoing series that I'm trying to finish, and I do have quite a few series that I really want to finish, but it was quite nice to read some standalones. And I know this one is a series, but like, it was short and quick. So, but it was really nice to read some standalones and read some stories that wrapped up in and of themselves, that were completed arcs within their narratives, and I really enjoyed that. And now I feel as though I have the energy to go and read one of my like long, maybe 600-700 page finales of a series, because of having had such success with reading these. So I'm gonna hold them all up again and enjoy this feeling of accomplishment. So there we go. Here is my stack of books that I read over this weekend. I wonder how many pages it is. I mean, I did start this on like Thursday. I did start like Tress on Thursday night, so it wasn't all over this weekend, but I feel like I've read a lot of pages. I've read a lot of pages here, and I feel so accomplished. It was like a readathon. It was like I did a readathon just by myself and without like the pressure of calling it a readathon. Let me know how your reading is currently going, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my future videos. Bye!